everyone and welcome to episode 68. This is an update on the progress I've been making with Takom's AH-64 Apache. Guys, you'll remember in the last update video I finished the cockpit, fitted all those really nice detail parts from Quintus Studio, and in this video I'll be looking at the main rotor assembly and the way I assembled that and detailed it. But first, a word from the sponsor. This build is generously sponsored by Supernova Studio here in South Africa, my favorite hobby shop. And guys, do stick around because at the end of this video I'll be supplying a promo code. And you can use that to order this gorgeous kit at a substantial discount. The main rotor assembly on the Apache is quite a complicated piece of mechanical engineering, as you can imagine. Instructions for the assembly of this begins on page 4, and as I found out, this is quite a challenge, assembling all these parts. The parts for this is provided on the F sprue, and these are really nicely detailed parts. Honestly, I can't complain about the quality of the molding that Takom supplied. This was also the first opportunity I had to use my new sprue cutters from Red Grass Games. Now guys, this is not a sponsored item. These I purchased myself, and honestly this was money well spent. My Tamiya cutters have been with me for years and I love them, but I find the Red Grass Games cutters are just better suited to getting to small parts on the sprues. And I can certainly see myself using both of these cutters in future. Perhaps I'll leave the heavy lifting to the Tamiya cutters and use the Red Grass Games cutters for small parts. Now this specific step in the instructions really had me puzzled. I had to really get my head around this diagram, and it took me a while rearranging parts just to get them to fit properly. But once you get them to fit, the fit is actually quite good. It's just a question of understanding the order in which you have to assemble them. I also ended up breaking that little part there. Fortunately, everything can be repaired with super glue these days, and I had no issues fixing that little broken part there. Some really gorgeous detail on these Takom parts together really well, and this really is a nice assembly, I must say. I'm really impressed with the quality of this kit. So there you go. That is the troublesome assembly that I finally figured out, and it came together quite well. This is the base of the main rotor, tabbed so you can't screw it up, and also these struts really just snap into place. The fit on this kit is really nice. What I like about the Takom kit is most of this will actually be hidden inside the fuselage. And yet Takom went ahead and they really detailed this part fully. You can see there that fits perfectly, and suddenly we have something that looks like the lunar lander. This is the main rotor mast, and it's quite a beefy component. Keep in mind this is a 1/35 scale, and that component is actually longer than an adult human. So yeah, this is quite a beefy component. This of course will now fit in the lunar lander, as I like to call it. The next step is to prime all these parts. All the assembly has been done, and once I applied Mr. Hobby primer, you can see there's the result. I really like the finish I get with this specific primer. I think it forms a chemical bond to the parts, and you get a really nice smooth finish with Mr. Hobby. Next up is pre-shading. You've seen me do this a lot. This is basically applying solid black and solid white just to create high contrast areas on the model before I apply the base color. Used a little piece of cardboard there just to get some high contrast white on those struts. I do the same on the rotor mast, and of course using my Iwata Eclipse. This is precision work, and the Eclipse is perfect for that. Also makes it possible to do little touch-ups like I'm doing on your screen right there. So that is the primer and the pre-shading done, and I can now move on to the base colors. In reference pictures, you'll see this bright chrome color on the rotor mast. It's basically that section over there, and that I sprayed with Vallejo chrome. But first I had to do the necessary masking, as I don't want the entire rotor assembly to be chrome. I used Vallejo chrome from the Model Air range, and in conjunction with the pre-shading, this went on really nicely. Now for the base color, I'll be using US Army Hilo Drab from AK Generation 3. The actual name for this paint is Federal Standard 34031. So any of your hobby paints that will give you that color will work in this case. The reason I opted for this specific paint from AK is because it's in acrylic. The other options are either enamel or lacquer. I found that I had to thin it slightly for airbrushing. This is my first time working with this specific paint. And honestly, I like the finish I got on this. It went on really smoothly, and I was able to gradually build up the color on top of the pre-shading as I would do with my Vallejo color. Sadly, Vallejo does not have a pre-mixed US Army Hilo Drab. You can see there, very nice smooth finish that I'm getting. And this is the rotor mast, and the next step is to fit this in place on the rest of the rotor assembly. It's tabbed, so you really can't screw this up. Fit is nice, and once it's glued in place, I can proceed. Now you'll notice all these bolts on reference pictures, they are a brass color, metallic color. It differs between pictures, but in this case I opted for Vallejo brass from the Model Color range. This is meant for brush painting, and I used a fine brush just to apply this to the bolts on that rotor assembly. It certainly looks nice against the Hilo Drab color. Now these adjustment points are next, and in reference pictures they are steel colored. So I used the natural steel from Vallejo's Model Color range. Again, some thinning is required for brush painting, and I carefully painted this onto the model, all those adjustment screws. Steady hand is required for this. This is not something that you rush. And you take your time. There we go, guys. All the detail painting has been done, and I'm certainly liking what I'm seeing there. The next step is to protect all this hard work. I'm using Microscale's Micro Satin Varnish just to protect the paint during the coming pin wash that I'll be applying. The wash color that I chose is Black Wash from Ammo MIG. This is of course an enamel product, which means it can be thinned with odorless thinner of your choice. I like to really thin down these wash colors. It just makes it so much easier to apply to recessed detail on the model. The reason I chose Black Wash is because the Hilo Drab color is actually quite dark, and I tried a lighter wash first, didn't work out, so I opted for Black Wash instead. And once it's applied, I just put this down in front of the fan and let it dry fully. Folks, so that's the final result. Certainly happy with that. Of course, this is not done yet. We still need to fit the actual rotors, and there's also some scratchable detail that I'll be adding in later steps, so do stay tuned. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, you can order this kit from Takom, the Delta model Apache, the longbow model, from Supernova Studio here in South Africa. If you use the promo code Longbow2601, you'll get a 15% discount. Folks, that's quite a lot of money in South African currency. So if you're a South African modeler, do make use of this opportunity and add this gorgeous kit to your stash. Folks, that's it for episode 68 then. Thank you for joining me. As always, follow me on Instagram. I do frequent updates there, and you won't miss a thing. Looking forward to seeing everyone in the next video. Thank you for watching.